We want to contribute something to the country that, say for example, after 100 years this company will be known as they have cleared the waste of the country.
So this week's episode is introducing Mr. Saurav Siddiqui, the CEO and owner of the Siddiqui Group, a huge multinational conglomerate. Mr. Saurav Siddiqui finds himself working in multiple industries all over the world. The biggest project that Mr. Siddiqui is involved with is his power plant project, which is valued in the billions, which will be supplying energy to 6 major cities within Bangladesh.
We have signed approximately for 4.2 billion. These 6 projects is not the end of the Bangladesh waste management scenario. We have to do at least 20 power plants to manage all the waste in Bangladesh.
Obviously you have so many industries you have your hands in, but it sounds like the primary ones are the garments, textiles, and also the energy project, which is another huge one. Is that financially driven or is more...
No. Financially I'm solvent to survive another 50 years without doing anything. The thing is,
hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. Today we have with us Sheikh Muhammad Abu Bakr Siddiq from Bangladesh. He's joined us over here in Dubai for a few days. Now, I don't know where to start introducing this person because he's in the garments industry, he's in textiles, he's in waste management, he's in energy, renewable energies, solar farms, agricultures, fisheries, every single business you can,
finance.
construction, IT, defense. He's in every single industry you can think of. But his journey and his life has been a very interesting one, and I think there's a lot that we can learn from him in terms of like how he scales his businesses, how he comes up with ideas, how he executes, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned from everything that you've done. And he's only 36 as well, which is another amazing thing. When you hear someone that's involved in all of this kind of things, you think they're probably in their late 50s and 60s. But yeah, welcome to the show.
yeah, let me correct you a little bit. Also, people knows as me as a Saurav Siddiqui. So the bigger name actually will not actually click on people's mind, and they might see there's another guy, we don't know him. So he can introduce me as Saurav Siddiqui. But thank you for actually welcoming me in your show. And should I look at the camera or I'm like?
There's a normal conversation. Let's pretend they're not there.
All right. So it's basically I've been doing business for the last 20 years. When I was at my 11th grade, and I started my journey with a very small events that I used to do. Later on, I shifted to call center industry and call center software industry, and after that, I started construction. Then garments. Now we are doing power plants like waste to energy. That's renewable. That's the future of the global problem, because we are having shortage day by day for the fossil fuels we have. And we have also started solar energy. We are working on solar energy, also in wind energy. Later on, what is our target is going for EV batteries for Bangladesh, and also offshore as in like water turbines. So mostly we are focusing on right now into textile and renewable energies. And that's pretty much, if you say as a summary, that's how we're doing it.
Okay, so if you take it all the way back to your childhood and your education, and how did you come up with your first business idea or your first concept?
See, as I told you, I'm very good at execution. People comes to me with their plans. So that's one of the part, and that does not actually mean that I go along with every plans. People comes with a plan. Hey friend, we can do events. So I started events. We made some losses. Then from there, I went to meet this guy who actually does TV commercials. So I joined them. Then I had the opportunity to direct TV commercials. Later on, my father said, okay, so as you are doing so many things, why don't we try the call center industry in Bangladesh? I said, okay, Dad, yes, you are saying me I need to do it. Okay, so I've done it. We had a 300-seater call center with approximately 600 employees. When I was at the age of 20, I had to recruit, I had to interview more than 1,200 people in a span of 3 months. Now you can calculate how many people I have to interview every day. So that was a hell lot of a job when I was very young, and I was just started my graduation as an ACCA. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Also have done my graduation on BSc honors in accounting also. So that actually delayed my studies a little bit. Usually for an ACCA it takes, or for a graduation it takes 4 or 5 years maximum. It took me 6 years approximately. I don't blame that. Actually, that actually put me, something that if it's a metal, if you don't put it in fire, it doesn't become a sword. So that's one of the important thing. That's what my father did. But later on, we had some problems with the profitability and loss. So we had a fight. My father and I had a fight for in a day, and I was a little bit aggressive at that time. Way too aggressive. As you know, I'm like when you're in your 20s or 21, you just click with any words. Hey, why do you tell me that?
Yeah.
Papa, despite I'm giving the highest effort, I'm going there at 9 in the morning. I'm coming back at 11 p.m. Then again from 11, I check whether there is a USA client who wants to call me, or I have to reply their emails. I go to sleep at 3. Then again at the morning, I go for studies at 6 or 7. Then again I go to the office at 9. And still you are asking me why there is no profits, and it has been just 6 months or 8 months. So I left the house with my car and the laptop. I didn't have any money in my pocket at that time. Because I didn't took any salaries from the company, because the company was just starting. So I cannot take salary from my own father. So I left the house. It was a mistake, I know, because my mother felt very bad about it. So I took a house and an office right away, right on that day, without paying an advance. But I committed to that guy. Yes, tomorrow I'll give you the money. And yes, with that laptop and that car, I ensured that I have at least $10,000 in my pocket, and to pay his rent and advance up to 3 months. So that actually gave me a boost. That yes, without family support, without any support, I can run on my own. And till that, I don't take any support from my family. Whatever I do, whatever I'm doing, whatever the industry is, right now we have an industry of approximately 60,000, 4.60,000 crore taka. That is approximately $5 billion industry, including the waste, solar, garments, and everything. Not in cash assets, but in assets, but in projects. It values approximately 5 billion right now. 4.2 billion itself is the project of waste and solar and wind. So till that, not a single support. Yes, that does not mean I forgot my father or mother or my family. They are the most important things for me in life. And today, my father is the chairman of all the companies, despite he didn't want it. Okay, so as I told you, we had a fight. That does not actually mean that we are not we don't understand each other. And in fact, I understand my father than any of my other brothers and sisters. Yes, they will. After seeing the podcast, they may go that yes, we do also understand our dad. Yeah, you guys also do understand, but I understand him better. So that's one point. So from there, we started from that day until 2 years I was out of the house. And on those 2 days, I incorporated myself with ex-employees of Microsoft who started Infratel. Infratel is a call center software which I sold it in Bangladesh and abroad to a number of clients. Later on, I thought, yes, it's a good time for investments in real estate. Real estate idea was mine, to go into real estate, because as you know, everybody wants to go into real estate. But what I found in Bangladesh at that time, there was a very big recession in Bangladesh in 2013 in the real estate sector. Everything's price went down. So I had to shift my focus to some other business, because I don't want to do the call center and I don't want to get involved in the software industry, though still they are there. Because as you know, I train people, I delegate things to people, and then I move on to the next industry. And that's how an entrepreneur should do. You should delegate, you should make people understand that what they are doing. You should hire in recruitment, the most important thing is you hire a person who is trustworthy, whose nature is good. You can train him to become a boss.
How would you identify that in a person, though? What characters do you look for?
In an interview, say for in an interview, starting from the interview, we actually check him with the, if you ask me, we check his, starting from his entrance, how he's entering the premises, how he is dressed up, how his attitude is to other employees over here, how his attitude is to the peon staff. Peon means butlers. How his attitude is until coming to the boss itself. So that's a longer process which I have actually explained my HR department, that this you cannot get in a book. In a book they will say, okay, you check the certificates, you make ask some questions. In that questions, if you find some points, you write it down. But what I say, check his behavior. First of all, once you check his behavior, how he dressed up, how he's doing everything. Yes, there are people who might pretend that, okay, we have to be very polite during our interview. That also get, when you that is also actually been, say for example, there are phases. For recruitment of admin panels, for recruitment of the people who you will delegate, you need to interview them 2 or 3 times. You can't just interview them one time and give them a 30 days period of, that's not possible. If you want to find a real person. So that's the process I go through. And I don't know about others. I don't know about Elon Musk. I don't know about Bill Gates, how do they recruit. But my policy is this. Yes, the person has to be honest, because I know I can train him. He doesn't have to be very good in mathematics or geography or in any kind. He doesn't have to be a PhD holder. But yes, whatever he does it dedicatedly. Because see, even if you ask for Bill Gates, he seeks for people who can sit on the computer for 8 hours at least. He doesn't want a degree. So that's his recruitment process. Because he knows in this 8 hours, this guy can be lazy for 1 hour, but the rest 7 hours, what he can do is like he can work for me. So that's the way how we recruit usually. And I train them personally. The core people, I train them personally because there is a day-to-day interaction. I train them. Now, if you ask me how many people you have trained, I have trained a lot of people. I have trained a lot of sectors. Even there are, say for example, from one factory to another factory, there is no, say for example, no connection between the employees. They don't know each other, but they are under me. That's how I have kept, so that there is no conflict of interest. So this is how I have done.
At this stage, how many people are you working with in terms of higher level management, also employees?
In high level management, we have approximately 40 people. And as for employees, we have approximately 12,000 right now.
12,000.
Yeah, 12,000. It includes the daily contractual, not actually daily, monthly or yearly contractual workers, laborers, everyone. So when there is a paycheck, I have to calculate how many people. So I can say that it's near about 12,000 plus the 40s. So in the 40, they are in different 4 sectors: in construction, in power, in textile, and they are the core. So
and that's who you involve yourself with, only the main 40.
That's
and
exactly.
They take care of the rest.
Those are the people I train mostly, and those are the people I hang around with. Say, for example, after your work, what do? You hang around with your friends. They are my friends because I chose them as a friend. From friend, they have become my partners.
Trusted partners.
Or say, for example, now few of them have company shares also. Previously, they were in the ESOP, but right now they are inside the company. So that's how you build. So say, for example, if today I'm here, I have kept my phone in silent. I know if there is an inquiry from a client, there is someone to reply. So that I make sure. When you make sure this thing, then you can sitting Coca-Cola or whatever drinks you have.
Your team.
You know that your team is working. So that's how you build it.
One thing I'm interested, because we spoke about how you train employees, but you are in so many industries that we know that it's already very difficult to be successful in one, and you are successful in a lot of them. How did you train yourself to move from one industry to the other industry? Did you have experience? Did you have a mentor that told you in IT you have to do it like this, or in construction you have to do it like this, or is just a curiosity that you have from yourself to learn and learn?
First and foremost thing, you have to learn every day. Even today, I learn from my kid. There are things which I don't know. There are things which you don't know. So there are things my employees knows which I don't know. And it's a learning process. I read books, I study, I research. Now, if you ask for me, the IT industry, the call center thing, back in 2008, I didn't have any clue. What is call center, or what is a contact center? How does it run? I had to do research apart from being in the office. We had to go through each and every point, starting each and every software, starting even for a software to handle it. You have to get trained. From there, when I came to construction part, I had to study how things are working. I had to go through my own constructions, which I built small. Then I had to go for like bigger scale. So it's a learning process all through your life. Even today, if you ask me what you are learning, yes, I'm learning that here is a podcast, how the setup is done. How the setup is done, and yes, it can be done in a one room. When we used to do TV commercial, it used to be a very big setup. Back in 2006, I told you I did commercial for Mojo. Mojo is a very big drink in Bangladesh, just like any local drink you have.
It's an energy drink, no?
No, it's like Coca-Cola. It's like Coca-Cola.
I remember it.
Yeah, so I did for Unilever also.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to be the assistant director for Unilever, and for Mojo I used to be also the assistant director under Adcom. Adcom is one of the biggest advertising agency in Bangladesh. So later on, I started my own advertising agency, and I got few other TV commercials to do. But what I found is like the time I'm giving, it is not actually giving me enough rewards against of my time. So IT was a very big jump for me to expose myself to get clients overseas and to meet people overseas. Apart from that, as we were coming, Mr. Wally was asking me, how did you get the investments for your projects of the waste management? Till today, we have collected investment approximately. We have signed and collected. We have signed approximately for 4.2 billion. And see, what happens in Bangladesh, if you go for a power plant project, and as it is new, there is no waste management system in Bangladesh.
It's a brand new concept, right? It's a whole new industry.
People tried. Even 20 years back, people tried. But somehow it did not connect. So we had a very hard time, because there is this LGRD ministry, power ministry, PDB, Renewable Energy Association, City Corporation. There are 5 teams who are after us, scrutinizing our things every now and then. So you have to pass each and every exam. You have to convince them that, okay, this is our technology. Now there is another thing. If I tell you today, you will be shocked. That is, in Bangladesh, our energy sector only knows the method called incineration. Now, if you have an incineration plant in your country, say for example, you're from Spain. Madrid, if there is an incineration plant in any of the city, after 25 years, you will have skin cancer if you are in approximately 50 kilometer radius, approximately, because it releases flue gas, it releases furan, it releases carbon monoxide, which is bad for your skin. Now, how did I know that? I had to study. I had to, as you were asking, that how did I go from starting from the call center to the garments? Even for garments, I didn't know. Now, if you give me a machine and if you ask me to sew a T-shirt, I can sew it. Though it's not my job. I pay 12,000 people, employees. It's not my job, but I'm into it, because whenever there is a problem, that, okay, boss, we need to change all of this. Okay, I personally go and check what we can repair and what is required to be changed. If you can repair it, run it for another 6 months. That's where that way you don't inject more capital investment. You have the same capital investment but more yield. So you need to know ins and out. So that's why I told you that you will get shocked that with incineration all this happen. Also carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide is released to the environment. And I have brought in technology which is called synthesis gasification system, which is burnt in a closed chamber, is not burned, is actually heated in a closed chamber. And from there, synthesis gas is produced, which gas is put it into a reactors, which reactor separates the chemical formulas of synthesis gas into butane, into methane mostly, and into propane. And those propane, butane and methane goes into the generators, which we already ordered for our first project in Brahmanbaria, that is of 11 megawatt, and 2 machines we have ordered from MAN Engineering Services. So these are basically the things which you got to know. So when I was in MAN, they were asking me about the composition, that what composition you are likely to get now. I said we want mostly methane. Then they said, okay, we need to do a certain modification. Right now, I know the modification which they haven't done for years. So every day it's a learning process. Even today, if you ask me that what is the next step after, say for example, you have enough waste plants, you don't need energy anymore. Then what you do with those waste? Because waste will be coming. Every day you will be generating waste. We can convert it into hydrofuel. We can put it in canister. We can sell it to the factories, iron metal factories, or big giant factories who needs to burn heavy metals or who needs to do heavy productions. If you ask me, if that is done, then what do you do? Okay, we are putting up EV battery production systems. With that battery production system, you reserve the energy, send it to the cars, send it to the factories, send it worldwide, make batteries, more and more batteries. Batteries need to get recharged. So how you recharge? You recharge with the same system.
With the waste management and solar project, and how much money you guys raised for? It was the 4 billion one.
4.2 billion for waste. For solar, we have raised 42 million. We have signed the term sheet and everything. And for wind, the project cost is 111 million. But still, we are on the verge of negotiation because we are doing it in Cox's Bazar in certain point where forest. See, what is wind power? It has to be. It is not in a single plant. It's not in a single place. It has to be inserted after every 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers distance. So it's a long distance when you think of 50 megawatts, because each turbine can generate up to 1 megawatt to 3 megawatt. Right now there is a technology which can generate 4 megawatt, but that is not viable for Bangladesh, because Bangladesh, the wind speed is not more than 14 kilometers per hour. So you need minimum 14 kilometers per hour to run 1 or 2 megawatt turbines. If I bring 4 megawatt turbine, the turbine will not move. So we need more space. Now more space means more place. More place means involvement of forestry. So we are having a conversation with the forest department, and also the department who has actually awarded the project, so that we can put up the turbines in a different place. Also, there are many things, because the excavation lines, after you put up the plants, where do you deliver the electricity? It has to go to the substation. And where is the substation? Substation is provided by the government back in 1970s. It's a British colony.
Is this 4.2 billion plus all the hundreds of millions you're speaking?
Yes, plus.
Is this with the question of value of investors and all of this, is this raised by your money with government plus third-party investors, or who is involved when it comes into the
initial seed investments were done by us?
Okay.
Seed investment like purchasing the lands, doing the research and development, hiring the team. Now, if you ask me for capital investment, the machinery investment, capital investment is done by the investors. There were few angel investors, but angel investors amounts are very less. But we are having hedge funds involved in it. We are having big giants corporations, which I cannot disclose over here. But yes, they are mostly from Europe, USA, and Middle East. So these connections we had to pitch them. I'm pitching the project. I have pitched the project starting from 2019, end of 2019, and today end of 2020, 2021, 22. I have ensured that okay, this 4.2 billion can be accumulated together once we are up and ready. Because see, even if you sign up for the investment, you cannot take the investment if there is no LOI, letter of intent from government. And one particular LOI takes 5 years, but for us it took 1.5 years for the first one. So we are getting one by one, because government is also a bit adamant about this issue, that you complete one first project, then we give you another. So we have taken 2, and for that 2 we have raised 550 million. Once we get the LOIs for the next one, we go to the same investor or we just pitch. Because right now, even from my websites, we are having call that we want to invest. So it's nothing like, even yesterday my accountant, my chief accountant officer, he sent me a text message, sir, there are some people from Africa who wants to invest in us. I said, okay, keep them in queue. It's not mandatory that we have to take the investment. What you do is like you keep your conversation. So I'm also making my people train how to talk to an investor. So later on, what will happen? Okay, if any investor come, they can actually filter that who is a genuine investor, who is not who is just about to talk. So yeah, for 4.2 billion we have signed the papers, but we can always look for more amount. Because see, these 6 projects is not the end of Bangladesh waste management scenario. We have to do at least 20 power plants to manage all the waste in Bangladesh. At least minimum 20, because there is major 12 city corporations and minor city corporations are also there, who are big enough like major city corporations, but they are not called as a city corporation. So this is the problem. We need at least 20 to 25 waste management companies, and that's why it's not the end. It's not the end that I have collected 4.0. Maybe I have to collect another 10 billion to finish all the projects. And renewables are the next thing. So we are going for solar. The solar 30 megawatt that is expandable to 100 megawatt, and the wind we have got another nautical miles in another part of Bangladesh, which is approximately the size of Bangladesh. It's in the sea level. So from there also, from the seashore, we can put up another 10 to 50 megawatt, because our government has what our government has committed to UN, that is within 2030 they will go 30% in renewable energy. And our government is supporting a lot. See, these things which I have told that 5 years is taking, and now 1.5 years is taking to get a permission. It is because of the government, our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Well, I have to say her name because she is actually behind all the developments right now. Because as she is there for the last 10 years, she could change. 10, I would say right now is approximately 14 years she's there with the government, and I hope she stays for another 15 years or 20 years, however she can, because it is needed. A single government is needed for the development of any country. Yeah. If government is changes right now, then there will be a massive changes in the policies, and which we don't want it. Yeah. So that's how.
You know, one thing you mentioned about going to investors and raising capital and doing the pitches. What advice would you give to someone who's looking for investment, looking for pitches? How would they structure their pitch? What things to include, what not to include?
How over here, you don't pitch. First and foremost thing, you have to solve a problem. First thing that you're solving.
You need a product.
before the product, is there the demand?
Mm-hmm.
Say for example, today you come to an investor and tell, okay, I'm making a water bottle. Hey, there are thousands of people making water bottles. Why do you need to make another water bottle? Okay, now you tell them, I'm making a water bottle which people are selling at 10 rupees or 10 dirhams. I'm selling it at 1 dirham. That makes sense. That actually catches the mind. But then again, it's not a problem-solving solution. There are thousands of problems we are facing. People in Africa, people in Asian countries, they are facing thousands of problems every day, starting from their diaper to napkin to sanitary napkin. In Africa, it's still people. Now in my country, not all the people can use sanitary napkins. Solve that problem with 2 taka. Then I'm going to be your investor. Is that making any change to the world or to the country? First and foremost, that is required. Okay. After that, the investment depends on how the product is managed and how if the product is scalable or not. Say for example, today if you talk me about this studio, how this studio is scalable. Can you scale it? How many people you have to work on it? So scalability is another issue for any investor, that yes, this product can generate billions of dollars. After that, you pitch them. After that, there are angel investors where you can pitch for your seed fundings initially. Then you go to the conglomerates. Then you go to hedge funds. Then you go to banks for collateral investments. So first and foremost, it's your idea. It's how if the product is scalable or not, and how much is the market share. Say for example, if you want to make a sanitary napkin today, you have to check the market share. So each and everything is dependent. If any person comes to me for investment, he has to have knowledge. Otherwise, there is no investment just by having a cup of coffee. Trust me, that's how actual investments occurs. Now, yes, there are investment works between friends. That's a different case. There are investment happens between tea table or coffee table. That's different. I don't know about that because I have never been into that kind of game. But what I have gone through is like you have to have a solid product which has demands, which is scalable, and you know the market share. After these 3, you have a very good business solid plan. And most importantly, you have to have co-founders who are enough capable like you that okay, today you are not there, your co-founder can balance the things out. And if you are a single CEO or if you are a single co-founder, then I would suggest get a CEO. A CEO is always required for the final decision. So these are the things actually when a board takes a decision, when a person, because he's not seeing the industry itself, he's not visiting you. Initially to make a commitment, he sees the person or how he actually have the knowledge of the product and how good is the product. That is the first phase. The second phase is definitely the due diligence. They will go for the due diligence. Yes, what are the due diligence? All you have said is correct or not. So submit the papers. Give them the papers. There will be term sheets. Once you have the term sheets, then you have the disbursement. And if you're looking for investment as an equity investment, then you have to know how much equity you are going to dilute. If you're going for a loan, then you have to know that what kind of collateral your bank may ask. So these are normal things. And there are few abnormal things which we can actually talk about in a podcast. But I don't think that would be suggestible or advisable. Yes, you can go to places, you can meet different people, make good networks, because your network is your net worth. How much network you have. From that network, if you get investment, yes, that you can. But what I suggest, make a rock solid business plan first, rather than actually going for networks.
So upon this kind of interesting insight you've given, following from that logic, I want to understand. So you're basically saying before you even think of the product, you need to think of the market and does it solve a problem?
Exactly.
Is there a demand for it? So I'm interested to understand. Bangladesh is still a emerging economy, and therefore their priority is not renewable or global warming or emissions. It's more like let's get power. So why did you decide to invest in renewable wind and solar as opposed to just traditional, which might be cheaper in my understanding? Why did you choose this route?
I think you have to see the videos right now. Today, Saudi German Power Plant Limited has a YouTube channel. And we have done the videos and the surveys. See, we are doing it for the last 4 years. I know I have faced this kind of question several times. Why? If you go to a dumping zone, you will see there are condoms, there are AIDS syringes which are being picked by people who lives penny to penny every day. And have you seen the dumping zones in Bangladesh? In Sylhet dumping zone, it's very big, like pile of waste just beside the road with approximately 10 acres of land just dumps. We don't have a waste management system. We don't, because in Bangladesh still we are dumping waste on a landfill. So we don't have a waste management system. That's why the demand came.
Okay.
When I go through the roads, to the highways, would you like to smell or see the dumping zones around you? Do you see it in Dubai? Do you see it in any kind of developed countries? There is a mandatory needs. Even today, people throw their bags of garbages out of the window. Awareness is required. First and foremost, this waste management company which I have built will not only produce electricity but create awareness in city corporations, and we have kept that in budget. That for every plant we have a budget of $2 to $3 million. That TV programs, local trainings to city corporation workers. Oh, amazing thing! That is like we are not hiring new people. We are involving the existing city corporation people who have been collecting waste for the last 20 years or 10 years, and we are not putting them out of the salary. We are keeping them that, yes, you do it, you collect the waste, but in a better way, in our way. So that guys, the city corporation, the city mayors are very, very much happy. We are, in fact, the head department of the waste, we have also told them that our awareness will go from school to school. It will start from the schools to the universities, and there is no waste management or degrees in Bangladesh. But I said to all the city corporations that once for this plant, you get one one degree program, which we will fund for waste management studies or environmental, though we have environmental studies in Bangladesh, but waste management studies we don't have, which is a very, very big problem and very highly studied in other countries. So it is not there in Bangladesh. So I said, we'll fund it. We'll fund for that degree, get a degree for the people, so that after getting the degree, they get job automatically in the plants.
For the waste management side, is that something that the government is subsidizing or funding, or is that built into the profit from the energy that will come?
Question is good. Power has always been subsidized.
Okay.
In Bangladesh, even fuel, we buy at a higher rate from outer country, or we produce the electricity. Say for example, today if you ask me, a coal-based power plant, how much government is buying and at what rate he or she is selling to the local people, it is subsidized.
Okay.
They buy at a higher rate from the plants. Say for example, for waste management, they are buying at a very higher rate. Not a very high rate, a higher rate, just like the coal-based plants. And they are selling to the local people and to the factories at a different level. So for example, to local people is 7 cents. To factories is approximately 8 to 11 cents, because that's commercial properties. And to markets and offices, there is another rate of 7 to 9 cents USD. So they are buying at a rate of 20 to 24 cents for waste management companies. Okay. So that is how we are subsidized. For coal-based, they are buying it at 13 to 14 cents. But that,
So your end user is actually government contracts, not to the consumer directly.
no. In Bangladesh, actually till date, there is no company who can sell to
Okay.
Public.
It's all
to
through the
to,
government.
to yeah, you have to. It's not like UK or Europe that they have different power plants companies. You can change your utility according to your price or according to the area or the services you have. I know how it goes in abroad. So problem is not that. Problem is we are being a subsidized sector. Government is not getting only electricity, but the entire waste is being managed. That means we are managing one thing, also we are helping the country, plus we are helping the government, which used to be the work of the city corporation. We are managing it properly. Now question comes, why we are managing it, why they have not? Because see, in our country, if we go for a plant like this, 500 million or a project of 1.5 billion, it's very hard for the government, or it is very hard for the city corporation, not for the government, for the city corporation to collect this kind of funds and manage it properly. So that's where the private entities come, and that's where we are doing it. And see, it's not that only government cannot do it, but we also want to do it. We want to contribute something to the country, that say for example after 100 years we will be known, or this company will be known as they have cleared the waste of the country. Yes, that's the shittiest job, I know, but that has to be done by someone else. If I don't clear my own shit, then there will be no one can clear.
But it's a business for life. It's not going to go anywhere. It's an
No, it's
industry.
not going to go anywhere. But as I said, you cannot predict. Say for example, people gets managed. People know how to segregate. Now, do you think there are lots of waste management companies who are still there in Europe? No, there are one or two. What do we do? As I said, the next plan is hydrofuel. From waste, we create hydrofuel.
Yep.
From waste, we generate energies. That energies will be reserved in the battery plants we are doing. That is the next, because your fossil fuels are getting reduced every day. What do? Say for example, in 2040, what do you do? Right now you are 27. In 2040, you don't see octane fuel, petrol, gas running cars. You don't see anything charging out of gas. Your heating system is not coming from gas. You need electricity. You need to survive. So how do you survive? You survive on the renewables, the natural resources we have. So that's the future. Yeah, that's the future thing.
Because things are kind of through government contracts and subsidized, it's a very predictable revenue model. There shouldn't be crazy fluctuations, because you know the demand and you know the government's contracts. Does that mean with the investors that you have in Middle East and Europe that you're doing a fixed return?
Yes. Of course.
Annual fixed return.
We're doing two models. For debt financing, there is fixed returns. But for investors, there is no
equity.
fixed.
Yeah.
There cannot be a fixed returns, because I cannot pay interest. I have to pay profits. So if the profit is high, I have to pay higher profits quarterly.
So majority are loan deals or equity deals that you've been doing for external investors?
Well, it's a combination.
Okay.
It's a combination, because see, for any project, first people doesn't want to, when this kind of big project comes, debt financing is always the main option, and they do insurance against the debt financing. So both way they are saved, whoever doing the financing. Once you accumulate the debt financing, then you can go to regular investor or the investment companies. That okay, we have debt financing and we are running good, and now we need more funds. What to do as an equity
So
investment?
the debt finance becomes collateral for the investor coming in.
Yes.
It's a proof of concept.
It's not actually collateral. It actually becomes a confidence level. It actually gives them confidence. Now, investment due diligence is easy. Debt financing due diligence is not that easy.
Because it's big funds and institutions. Is it difficult to get investors into a third world country or emerging country
course.
from the West?
Of course, I face this question every day.
Yeah.
Why should your government may not be stable? Yeah, your government. What if the government cannot pay you because you have the contract? This and that. Then I have one answer. We've been running since 1971, this 50 years So government has been paying the subsidized subsidized companies, the power plants for the last 50 years, and you think they cannot give you for another 10 years, and we are not developing. Right now, you go to Bangladesh, you see how many highways and how many bridges and how many, what is the luxury of people's life. People now wearing, like me, wearing Hublots. Yeah, Hublot is not a good brand. I know, it's a cheap brand, but I don't spend that much on my wearables. That does not mean other people doesn't do. They are using Bentleys, they are using Kalinans, they are using, how this came.
I was surprised in 2018 when we were in Gulshan, like how many supercars we could see.
Right now you see another channel. Every 6 months, Gulshan, there is a new building. How these are coming?
High-rise luxury living.
High-rise. See, in Gulshan too, if you want to buy an apartment of 3,000 square feet, which is 300 square meters, you need to spend $2 million.
Dollars.
$2 million, sir.
Oh wow.
Yep, that's pretty expensive. And that entire area, Gulshan 1 and Gulshan 2, starts from minimum apartment, starts from small apartments, 3,000 to 3,500, starts from 1 million to 2 million USD. And how people are affording this? What? How? You tell me that my government, if they cannot give the loan back, or people are taking investment and cannot give you back, you cannot put one example. Say for example, you have put it up me one example that okay, this guy couldn't give the loan, but the rest 90% have given back the loan backs. And Bangladesh is such a place where 30 to 40% profit you can make in any business. If you ask me for agriculture, there's 100% profit. If you ask for me in textile, it's a 30% minimum guaranteed return.
Wow.
Our bank interest is 11%, and people are repaying it. How? In your country, bank interest is 1%. Still, there are auctions of houses which I am buying right now. Yes, I'm buying. I have built a real estate company in USA where we are buying auction properties where people cannot pay, and you are calling yourself a first world country. Because you see, in Berlin, when I was in Berlin in February, I asked my partners. We have offices over there, so I asked my partners, guys, you are too old. Why don't you hire people? Because they are all 70s. I'll show you a picture. They are 70s, 65. Okay, why don't you hire people? They said, listen, Saurav, every boy over here in 20s or 30s, they get 600 euros a month apart from their accommodation and this and that. So they are being subsidized by the government itself. And they go to pubs, they go to, they drink beers from night till morning, and they sleep all day. And there are like 3 million new generation people like that. That's why we have to work, or we have to hire people with so much money that is not affordable for us. In my country, if you go, you will see a kid of 14 years is also struggling. Yes, struggling is good because that makes you hard. When I was young, my father used to wake me up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I still remember I used to keep a chair in the toilet so that when my father comes from, he used to go to morning walk at 6 a.m. and he used to come at 7 a.m. 1 hour he used to walk. There is a very big park still. It's beside the Prime Minister's house because our house is beside the Prime Minister's house. So he used to go to walk and come after 1 hour. So I used to take a chair, I go to the toilet, I used to sleep for that 1 hour again. So why I used to keep the chair? So that he sees after coming that, okay, my son is in the toilet, he's not still sleeping on the bed. If I used to be, if I were at the bed from Sunday to Thursday after 7 a.m., oh my God, on that day, it would have been massacre. I had to get ready by 7:30. I had to hit my school at 8. I would come back from school from 5:30 because I was in a full-time school. From 5:30, I used to go to playground until 7. I used to play. Then my teacher used to come. Then my hujur used to come. Hujur means Arabic teacher. Arabic teacher used to come. Then I had to study till 10. Yeah, when you hit an iron again and again and again, it becomes a sword. And that's what I believe the funders or the investors should look out that, okay, these people can struggle. These people can work. Even they don't understand that much. Even they don't have that much of knowledge the way you are. Because today you are exposed with AIs. You are exposed with robotics, which we are not exposed. But one thing we are exposed is with hard work,
Handling stress too.
handling stress.
Yeah.
So we can handle our stress, we can balance our family, we can balance our work. Our family doesn't leave us. Our family stays with us.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you are balancing. So when you balance your work, it's tough for the first world country. Most of the people, if you say 50%, have a divorce. This is true.
Yeah.
Recently, we have heard very big divorces of very big giant company CEOs. I don't want to name them, but there are. But over here, we are balancing the people, we are balancing the work, we are balancing our families, we are keeping our families starting from our father and mother. We don't send them to old home. So there is something called integrity, and there is something called love, which we have about our work and about our families. We don't just forget, even though there are several things, there are many things comes in between us. So these things actually needs to be highlighted to any particular investor or any particular management you go, because apart from all table works, as I said, as apart from all paperwork, there is something called humanity.
I find it interesting because on the car journey to the studio, the first question you said, how do you manage your time when you have all of these responsibilities, all of these companies, industries, employees, but you still manage to, balance your life. And a lot of people in your position maybe will just get caught up in work and focusing on the business and growing that. But you actually mentioned how you balance family time. So how do you structure that between the commitments of family around you, your partner, your kids, your parents, and then also your working life?
How do I manage that? Well, it's a very tough question, and you have to balance it. Say, for example, you keep them close. Say, for example, at work, keep them close. Involve them in your work. Even they make failures, try to make them understand. If you ask me about your father and mother, stay close with them. Call them. Try to be with them, or try to stay in the same house. Take them to... You have to actually see what I do. Sunday to Thursday is my working day. Friday, Saturday is my family time. That's how I manage it. In February, in January, I was in business trip. And right now, it's May. In May, I'm also in business trip, but I took my family along with me. So you have to make sure that even they say, you are not giving me time, don't give up. Because a lot of people gives up. Hey, I cannot manage you, I cannot give time to you, let's take a divorce. No, giving up is not the solution. So what I would suggest to the youth or people, whoever is struggling, never give up. Try to actually give some time. Is all they need is time. They don't need your money. They not, because money can be a luxury. They can get it from someone else also. Because my wife or my kids, my wife is not from any normal family. She also comes from a wealthy family. So she doesn't need my time, needs my wealth. All she needs is my time. My kids is also the same. They also know that when Papa is working, they don't disturb me. But when I come to home, I keep my phone in silent for at least 2 hours. Yeah. For the first 2 hours, I keep it silent. I give time to them. I make sure they are going to sleep. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we go out for dinner. Yes, I could have done friends hanging out. Yes, I do that. I also have good friend circle. All my friend circle, in everyone, I'm one of the most popular one, because I try to organize events for them with families or without families. So it's a balance. In a month, you have 30 days. In 30 days, 30 multiplied by 24 hours, there is a lot of time. Don't give me bullshit that you cannot manage time. There are a lot of time. All you need is to sleep 4 to 6 hours. That's all. The rest of the time you have it. You do your exercise. You give time to your health first. In the morning, I go to the gym. Though I'm not that healthy. I mean, like healthy as in like no, not that toned. But yes, I try to. I'm not. What do you call it?
Bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'm not a bodybuilder. But I try to stay healthy. So you have to keep yourself healthy first to keep others healthy. Because if you don't keep yourself, if you don't keep your people, your things, your food proper, your food has to be good, your mind has to be good by going to gym or by doing some yoga classes, or going to swimming pool or running or jogging in the morning, then everything will be clear at what time.
This is very manageable advice. If you have a small business and you're in one city and your family is around you, this advice can apply. But in your situation, you only spend 4 or 5 months in Bangladesh. The rest of the time you're traveling the world,
Yes.
different hotels, different location, different supermarkets. How do you navigate that? Because then your kids are in school too, and sometimes you bring them to travel. It sounds very chaotic to me.
No. See, for the last, from January 18 to February 18, I was traveling to 13, I have traveled 14 countries in that, in that 30 months, 30 days. Every day, I used to make sure that whatever hotel I'm taking, there is a gym nearby,
Okay.
10 within 5 minutes walk, or gym inside the hotel. That's my first priority. The food, I know what is my food intake, how much protein I have to take. These things you have to know if you want to actually, because or else you have to take a dietitian like Jeff Bezos along with his charter. He takes a dietitian along with him all the
Yes.
time.
Like a chef.
Gym trainer.
Like a coach.
Yeah, like a coach
Okay.
with him. He takes it with his plane. So I can't afford that. I don't have that much luxury right now, but I can control myself. I know my diet, so I know the diets, what to eat, what not to eat. I know my span. Every 4 or 5 years, I have a gap of having the food. Okay, so during the gym time, I'm free. So I talk to my child at that time.
Okay.
If they're sleeping, I talk to my wife. So over there in gym, I spend 1 hour, approximately 1.5 hours. In 1.5 hours, I spend 1 hour talking to them. Don't you think that's enough for them? When I'm abroad, so I'm filling that gap up. I call my dad, I call my brothers and sisters in those gym hours. So when I'm abroad, I have managed it. Every day,
convenience, yeah.
there is a communication. Next part comes when I go back to hotel. 2 hours I work with my employees, with my directors, with my other staffs, or whoever it is, whatever needs to be done in Bangladesh for the next 2 hours or 3 hours. Then, and I know this on the previous day that I have my meetings at what time. So I schedule my meetings after all these are done. And then when the meetings are done, I'm free to meet my friends. Wherever in the country I am, I can hang around with them after 8 or 9. So at 10 again or at 11 again, I go for sleep. I wake up at 7. So it's very easy. People think too much. They take too much headache that, I have to do that, I have to do this. How can I manage? No. 24 hours is a long time. We have spoke of approximately it's been 1.5 hour. In 1.5 hour, I have said the entire history of my life. So
when you're just calling every day, just updating on what happened today is it's easy.
that's easy.
I have this commitment as well.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask, so we've spoken about the current situation of these conglomerates you have and the huge projects, multi-billion-dollar and different industries. But I wanted to talk about the earlier days of how you got from, chartered accountant studying and then first call center to then actually making your first $100,000 and first $1 million. That journey, what did that look like?
Well, that journey was pretty harder than this. Today, I'm been backed up by many people with their work, with their time, with their knowledge. I don't have to be involved in the companies. But at those days, I had to research each and every bit. I used to sleep 4 hours a day. When I remember, from 21 till 26, 5 years. Those 5 years were from 2010 to 2015 or 16, I guess. So at that time, I used to sleep only 4 hours a day. I used to work. And yeah, I got married when I was 2011, and my first child was born in 2012. So apart from work, I have to say sorry to my friends that I didn't have any connections with them, because I was actually a little bit, as I said, right now I'm more clear. But at that time, I was also a little bit confused. how to maintain relationship and work. The same question you're asking me, I was not asking, but I was actually trying to figure it out, because you don't understand. You don't ask someone, hey, how do I manage my wife? You don't do that usually. That's not practical. And that actually sounds funny. Your friend will make fun of you. Hey, you cannot make your wife understand, or you don't understand how to manage your wife. Your wife will run away. So also a very good thing. Also, that's a blessing that my wife understands a lot. That's one important thing of my life. Say, for example, even if I come at 4 a.m. in the morning, she knows I'm in a shipment. I'm working for an inspection. She knows my things. I tell her that, hey, I'm going for an inspection. Today buyers will come. There's an inspection. So in the inspection, if there anything happens which is not expected, I can manage by staying myself, but not my employees. And she understands. It takes, because in Bangladesh, trucks are not allowed to come into the city before 10 p.m.
Okay.
So all the shipments and all the loadings happens between 10 to 6 in the morning. So she knows. Or maybe I have some foreign delegates coming into Bangladesh whom I have to entertain. Say, for example, you have a delegates. You don't have delegates every day. So you can't give the same excuse every day. Okay, I have 30 days delegates with me. That's weird. So when there is delegates, yes, I have to. So she also take care of my child. She makes sure we both make sure the house is okay. It's not only her. Yes, she has got helping hands with butlers and chauffeurs and everything. But that is also great support. That support is also needed, because choosing a right partner, understanding a person
For the emotional support.
for the emotional support, and also not always the emotion works. It works also that how much burden she is taking from yourself. If she tells me that, okay, now you have to take care of the kids too during the daytime, that's gonna be, then I have to rethink. There is something wrong with my wife right now. So I have to give a motivational speech again, which I do every 1 or 2 years. Yeah, you have to give motivation. You have to motivate. You have to motivate people to stay up in the work. You have to motivate to keep the relationship works. You have to motivate your child, your father, your mother, that okay, this growth is done. Stay motivated. Don't lose hope on me. The world gives up on you when you give up. So you have to motivate yourself first with the energy you are taking, then motivate the rest of the world to keep up the thing. So motivation is one important thing to manage.
It sounds like obviously you have so many industries you have your hands in, but it sounds like the primary ones are the garments, textiles, and also the energy project, which is another huge one. Between these two, which one do you enjoy more day-to-day working on?
Right now I'm enjoying the energy.
Why is that?
We can see that smile.
Right now because
But is that financially driven or is more...
No. Financially driven. See, financially nothing is driven right now, because I tell you what, financially I'm solvent to survive another 50 years without doing anything. It doesn't matter to me. Even for my family, they can survive another 80 years without doing anything. My kids. So financially, it's not the thing. The thing is, I'm trying to change the scenario of Bangladesh.
It's a bigger.
You got a vision now.
Maybe also Asia, because this gasification system, this technology we're bringing, it's something massive that is required. As I said, previous technology was incineration, and incineration creates cancer around after 22 or 25 years of running, which is bad. Also emits carbon dioxide, also emits furan, also give tar. Also, there are lots of byproducts which are not good for the system. So synthesis gasification system is such a system that we can rely on, and it is the next future. So with this, I have came across with solar. Solar was being suggested by another person. As I said, I'm an entrepreneur, but you have to give me a good plan. And that plan, I can escalate it to the maximum, because that guy came with one power plant's energy. Now we have contracts from 6 city corporations, major ones. That guy came up with the professor who actually pitched me the project. To be honest, idea was someone else's, but to execute it properly and escalate it and elevate it to our next level, that I have done it.
Ideas, I feel like everyone has ideas every day, but the difference between people that are successful and not is the execution. 100%.
Execution and how dedicatedly you think about it. You eat it, you sleep it, you dream it every day. And that I have done for these power plants. That I have done for this waste management.
For this 4 billion projects, how many people will this provide energy for in Bangladesh?
Approximately, we are thinking 5%.
Of the population?
Yes,
Because millions of people.
Because we have approximately 12,000 megawatt production today. So if we generate approximately 600 megawatts, you do the math.
Yeah.
So, and 600 megawatt is not the only one. Our solar is 30 megawatt, which is scalable to 100 megawatt. So that will make it 650 or 670 megawatts plus the windmill is another 50 megawatt. That will increase into 720 megawatt. And most of the coal-based or what do you call it, fossil fuel-based plants are going to be closed. At least 40% of them going to be closed in a near future because of the shortage of the fossil fuel. How much you will excavate? America, they didn't even touch their oil till today. Why? They are collecting it from Gulf. They have not touched it and they have kept it as it is. So this is why, because they will be using the last portion of the oil, which we won't get it. So we have to think for ourselves. We have a very natural resource, very big natural resource in Bangladesh, that is uranium. That's the main resource for nuclear. And nuclear power plant would be another big thing for Bangladesh because we have enough nuclear in Bangladesh. So our government has already established a 1 gig. 1 gig is like 1,000 megawatts. 1 gig of plan for with nuclear power plant with Russia, collaborated with Russia. And the plant is huge. You can go to YouTube and you can see the bird's eye view. It's a very massive one, and that has become a Russian colony altogether. The restaurants are named under the Russian names. Yeah. Too much tourists are over there right now. It's nearby Pabna, I guess. I don't remember the. You can get it over the news and if you Google it, because I'm very bad in remembering the places, name places, because I think too much on many other things. So, so nuclear would be another natural resource, but that is also going to finish. So what are you gonna
renewable? Yeah,
renewables.
5% of the energy needs. That's energy to like almost 5 million people, right? Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So now we are not creating an effect on 5 million people, but I would say approximately 20 million people if we hit 20 city corporations.
Because you take away the cancerous and all of that from the atmosphere.
Apart from that, we are clearing their waste. We are making your city live better. You can breathe properly. Right now, if you take a photo with your iPhone in Bangladesh, you will see your face a little bit dark. Do you know why? The dust around the air, which you don't see with your eyes. Now, if you go to America or if you are here in Dubai, you take a photo. I look brighter in photos. Hey, trust me, I have seen the difference, and now I understand, because these small things actually shows us. Until you travel to places, you don't understand what difference. Because Bangladesh is number 1 in pollution. Right now, Dhaka city is the highest polluted city in the entire world. And where this pollution come from? This pollution is coming from vehicles. This pollution is coming from the waste we are dumping on roadsides that are creating blockage to the drains, that is creating floods, that is creating more and more diseases. And more diseases of water actually means we are exposed to a number of unknown newborn disease. You know the doctors of Bangladesh, why they are so much famous, and the army. Do you know it? Because we are dealing diseases, new kind of diseases, or the same disease over and over again. The more you practice the same disease, you become the master of it, right? So if you talk about a doctor, if he's not commercial one, he will be best in Bangladesh, in Asian content. Because he has been dealing, even Indian doctors are good. You know why? We have the similar situation of pollution. Our armies are the best armies for land army. As a land army, we send armies from Bangladesh to most of the African zones for fighting land fights, and to tackle the any kind of outburst. You know why? Because we have been trained tough, and we are in a struggling situation. So that has made our armies one of the finest armies for land fights around the globe.
One thing interesting you mentioned earlier, your dad used to supply the boots to the Bangladesh
Oh
military.
yes, from the very beginning, from when even I was not born, he started this business with DGDP, Director General Defense Purchase. So we used to supply the gumboots. They used to wear. We used to supply them tiffin box that is made of aluminium.
For the food.
Yeah, for the food, they have to carry it because and then need aluminium, and mosquito nets because they have to stay in such a place where mosquitoes are too much.
Yeah.
So these three things he used to supply. Later on, he started supplying the fabrics, the camouflage fabrics for the army. Actually, he's not the only supplier. There are other 4 or 5 suppliers, because the government army, they don't take from one supplier because that makes themselves dependent. So they split the orders. They gave it to 4 or 5 suppliers. So one of the suppliers is us, Siddiqui Fabrics. So that is one of his businesses, and also I have joined him. So yeah, we've been doing business with the army. Yeah.
Also, you're talking about how, like, when you're operating at your level, like when you do your marketing, it's not like social media marketing and stuff like that. It's all face to face, because you're talking about contracts of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million units.
Exactly. So that is another barrier for our business, that we cannot go socially. So we cannot do social marketing, because when you talk a ticket size of say for example, a normal order is of $2 million or $3 million order, and especially of our industry, when there is a order, the negotiation goes for 1 or 2 months, because sample development takes that much of time. So you have to have your physical presence. You can't just do social marketing and go. So what I used to do back then, I used to take luggages. I used to go door to door to the buyers or to the garments, to the brands, and I used to market myself. Market actually the products myself. And that's how the journey actually started. I had my own buying house. I took the orders for another factories from my buying house. From then, I built my own factories. Now I have taken over the factories the one they used to work for me for my buying house. I own them now. So so this is how actually right now we have around like 9 factories for garments and everything. And still now we are bringing up another plant, another one that will start, another unit that will start in maybe after Eid, after July.
Another 4 weeks.
Yeah. After July, that will start. So apart from that, we have taken huge land in one of the areas in Bangladesh where I'm trying to where the solar plant is going to happen, 30 megawatt. Beneath that, there will be 100 acres of fisheries land, the agriculture, and beside that is our cattle farm, which is approximately of 2,600 cattle, but we are trying to expand it of 10,000 cattle. There are approximately right now 1,000 to 1,200 acres of land. So 40 acres is given for the cattle farm, 100 acres for the fisheries, and on top of the fisheries there is the solar plant for the same, because the same thing is going for the solar and fisheries. Now we have given another 100 acres for a resort, and that resort will be a 5-star luxury resort. All the natural foods that being produced from our plants, from our agriculture, from our fisheries. Also, we will have vegetable farmings and everything. Everything will be supplied to that particular resort. So once you go there will be recreation. After 2 or 3 years, there will be recreation for the resort. I'm trying to put up cricket field over there and a football ground over there, so that boys like us who wants activities all the time, that okay, we go to a resort, but we
Just
need
chill
some
out.
not just chill out. We also
play,
want some activities like in the daytime. Yeah, we do we play, and then later at the night we chill out. So something like that I'm trying to create. And over there, what my idea is like, put all the 9 factories in one place, make an industrial park. So the industrial park would be the next thing. That is, I'm actually starting from spinning mills, because the process starts like this for any textile, for your shirt even. That is, the process, the cotton is been taken from Pakistan, especially from India, and some places of Brazil, North America, and some places of Europe. Then this cotton comes to Bangladesh or India again. Then these are purchased in beads. Like there is a full ship, you have to buy in beads doing the bidding. From there it goes to the spinning mill. So from that portion, from spinning mill to fabrics, so to what do you call it? Shuta? What do you?
Thread.
Thread, to fabrics, then to dyeing, then to ready-made garments. This entire process will be in one particular industrial zone. And somewhere near we'll be investing in cotton also, because we need to invest in cotton so that the entire pipeline stays
Vertical integration.
If we start from spinning, that itself is called vertical integration. But if we have the farm for cotton, then we don't have to bid
Yeah.
in the international market, because this is like gold. If you ask for gold market, how it fluctuates, the cotton market is same.
Yeah.
So every day fluctuating, every day the dollar market also every day fluctuating. So cotton is another commodity which is being regularized by some particular people. But if we can actually bring the cotton directly to our plant, and then the prices of the materials and everything will go much more down for at least ourselves and our buyers.
What is it like dealing with brands like?
Very hard. It's very hard. They have the liaison offices over here. They give one contract to a particular factory. That factory puts the order to our factory, and then inspection level goes 2-3 times more. Now everyone has a liaison office in Bangladesh, and a liaison office means much more burden for any kind of factory, because they inspect a lot and they scrutinize a lot. But yes, if you have good production team, then it's not a problem for you. But if you have a messed up production team, or your production manager is not good, or your quality team cannot ensure the quality as said, then it's a big time problem. But for us, we don't have that much problem, because we ensure quality. So with quality, yes, there are times when we have shipment delays, and that's a major issue in Bangladesh. Shipment delays happens. So a buyer orders 6 months ahead so that they can actually
factor in the delays.
they can
all the logistics that come with it.
all the logic. It says all of a sudden there is a strike. A strike doesn't happen for the last 2 or 3 years. Previously it used to happen. So during the strike, there's no transport can go. So shipment delay. 1 day delay means you don't see the ship for another 7 days. So your container first has to reach the feeder vessel. Feeder vessel goes to Singapore, to mother vessel. Mother vessel then transported to entire Europe, because we don't have that much capacity or depth of water to bring a mother vessel into our country.
You need to change your
Yes, we have to put it in the feeder vessel first. Feeder vessel then sails to Singapore, goes to the mother vessel. Mother vessel then change it, distributes it according to the. So it's pretty hard for companies Also, it's pretty easy when you have the system right into your hand. And even nowadays, we have our own designers. We put up our designs. Maybe you are wearing if you go to any other brands. We also work with many other brands also. Some of the designs has been given by our designers also. That we make 100 design, they select, okay, 10 yours, 10 hours, make it, something like that.
Can you make me these bottom shirts, because
Yes,
it's costing me a lot of money from.
Of course.
So if you can buy me directly this,
Yes,
I'll buy
yes.
directly from
That's
you.
what I'm saying, you made this too.
Send me your sizes, chest size,
Yeah.
your chest size and your chest size from Bangladesh. I will send you a carton for shirts of good brands.
For every podcast will be looking good.
We need
Yes,
for the
yes.
podcast, yeah.
Yes, of
Just
course.
for my own curiosity, and also viewers like to know these kind of things. What does the annual turnover for the garment side look like?
Garment side is approximately annually right now is not more than 50 million, 10 million and 20 million, because garments has as I said, there are different companies which I have bought. So in apparels, if you ask me, it's up nearly 50 million a year. And for I have two other buying houses which are in Europe and USA. They are making approximately roughly in an average 15 million, because one is making 20 million a year, another is making 10 million. So altogether it's 80 million a year they're making turnover. But I'm actually pretty much I'm looking onto the power plant, because each power plant will make, the first one itself will have the smallest one will have approximately 20 million turnover, and the medium range one will have a turnover of 171 million a year. Yeah. So that is one actually I'm looking onto it, because
How much equity did you keep for yourself? What does that decide?
65%.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, 65%.
But the rest of his family as well.
9% went to my father, and 15%, actually 10% with my wife, and the rest is ESOP, and there are some dilution with the directors.
Incredible.
So
You're keeping a good part in the.
Yeah, you didn't dilute too much.
nah, I didn't dilute that much, and I don't have any intention to dilute that much, because most of the investment kept debt financing. But in near future, say for example, after first 2 years we need direction, another 3 years operation. Sorry, after 3 years of operation we'll go for publicly listing. Over there the prices will be like 3 or 4 times 4x more for the current, because we have contracts of 20 years plus. It's renewable. The contracts you can renew it with the government. So it's a very good opportunity for people, for general people, to invest. Like in Nasdaq they do invest for Amazon or companies like that. So over here they can invest. So I'll put it up in any overseas stock exchange, where people from all over the globe can invest. And at that time it will be very good to dilute for me like 5 or 10% to recover all the money. Yeah, so I'm not thinking of diluting right now anything.
Going public.
Yeah.
So you've been very gracious with your time. I just
Yes,
wanted
thank
to end with one last question. You kind of explained very well your long-term vision of impacting your country with waste management and energy. But I wanted to know, what is your more short-term goals for the next 1 or 2 years that you would want to achieve?
In life there is nothing called short term. You have to look for everything as long term. Short term what? I mean, like, you want me to eat some mandi over here? That could be a short term plan. Short term, I don't actually understand your question. Short term plan to execute this.
Yeah, keep executing.
Keep
your
executing,
long-term
and
plan.
that is actually a part of the
long
long term plan.
Yeah.
So execution, there is no shortcut in life. There is no short term plan. Everything has to be long term, because you live 70 or 80 years. Right now I'm 36. I'll be living another 36 if I'm God wills. if Allah allows me. So for the next what I'm thinking, yes, there are a few opportunities for me. As if you speak of short term, I'm looking to do a PhD degree. Yeah, within to enroll myself in a doctorate degree for waste management. I'm trying to write a thesis, so people can actually go for it. And apart from that, I'm trying actually Actually, not I'm trying. I have been approached by several few countries to become the consulate for Bangladesh. So yes, I'm looking onto it. And one of the countries was Austria. They are. I have submitted all my papers. They are doing their due diligence, and they have actually. We have one consulate in Dhaka, so they are trying to put me a consulate for Chittagong.
Okay.
So Chittagong is another big city. So one consulate cannot stay, two consulates cannot stay in the same city. So that I have been applied. And apart from that, Montenegro, a new country, and another country, no, only Montenegro and Austria. They have actually approached. We are in contact to become the consulate for, and later on, maybe an ambassador, maybe another. That's my immediate short-term plan, because I have been working. They said within 6 months they can do everything, but it's already been 3 months, so another 3 months. That can be a personal achievement. Yeah. If you ask me, personal, and within another 2 years, I want to lose another 8 kilos, of weight. That's my another short-term goal.
Excellent. No, Saurav, thank you very much for your time. And this is definitely our best episode. Very insightful and a lot of awesome information. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for giving me the platform, and thank you. You guys are doing very great, and I hope you continue it for years after years, and you make this big so that people like Jeff Bezos, people like Elon Musk, they come over here and do your podcast. And hopefully within a year or two, if you can reach that kind of platform, I'd be the one to actually sit wherever I am and applaud for you, and I'll be calling Wally. Yes, Wally, you have done it. Yes, you have done it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes,
That means
thank you.
part 2 is in 2 years' time, huh?
Yes.